Minecraft 1.20.2 is a new minor update to Minecraft Java Edition that brings us more diamond ore in the deepest parts of the world, changes to mob attack reach, and much more. My name is Sliced Lime, come with me on a tour of all the changes in this version. Diamond ore is now more common than before low down in the world, where a new medium-sized ore vein of diamonds can now generate. This new type of ore can be found in uniform distributions between heights -64 and -4. A bug has also been fixed with world upgrades, where the deep dark biome can now generate in world regions that get filled in underneath an existing world when upgrading a world with the previous world height. The height of a mob now matters when it comes to whether it can reach you to attack. This changes many things about where mobs can damage you, including the need to stand on a taller pillar to avoid some mobs, and that mobs will no longer sometimes be able to attack through corners. The area where a mob can attack is now their bounding box, extended in horizontal directions. This means you'll now be safe from attacks from small mobs like baby zombies if you're riding a medium-sized mob like a horse. When riding a camel, you'll be protected from standard mobs like zombies. Some mobs that could attack you on a camel before, like zoglins, hoglins, and pandas, can no longer reach you. The reach of players hasn't changed at all, and mobs still need to see their target to attack it. Curing a zombie villager now only gives a big discount the first time. There's no longer a bonus discount for reinfecting and curing the same villager over and over again. The discount still only applies to the player who cured the villager, so if you're on a server and multiple players want to trade, you'll still need to reinfect and recure the villagers. Iron Golem spawn rates reduced from every 600 ticks to every 700 ticks in Minecraft 1.19. This has now been fixed, and a similar problem has been fixed for piglins, who now barter every 120 ticks again, rather than every 121 ticks. Camels that spawn in villages no longer sometimes spawn inside blocks, and a camel that is laying down will no longer stand up into blocks that it would suffocate in. A restriction of your facing while controlling a camel has been fixed, and baby camels that aren't moving no longer face their parents instead of a player who is tempting them. Sniffers on a lead will no longer dig in the same spot forever, and sniffers no longer sniff out and follow players from extremely far away. And bees now view spore blossoms and chorus flowers as flowers, and will go to them to pollinate. Barrier blocks can now be waterlogged by players in creative mode. Just like with leaf blocks and mangrove roots, water does not flow out of waterlogged barriers. Water in barrier blocks can only be placed by players and commands, not by other mechanics like dispensers. Eating a chorus fruit while falling will now properly reset your fall distance. Dragon and piglin heads now animate when placed on top of a jukebox playing a record. The skins and capes of LAN world hosts now render properly for other players that join that world. And the locked state of a hopper now shows correctly if you look at it using the F3 screen or when using a resource pack with a special look for locked hoppers. There's a new game rule in this version called Ender Pearls Vanish on Death. The default value for this rule is on, which is how the game already worked before this version, so if you don't toggle this new rule, nothing changes. If you do turn it off, Ender Pearls you've thrown will remain in the world even when you die. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please, could you take a second to hit that like button? I don't like asking for it like this, but yeah, it really does help with the YouTube algorithm, so thanks. Now, let's get back to it. In Sculk news, the Sculk sensor range has now been fixed to be based on discrete numbers of blocks, which means there's no place where the signal can differ from different places in the same block space. Sculk sensors now also recognize a totem of undying activating, a witch drinking a potion, a turtle clearing away sand, and a camel standing up, sitting down, or dashing. Vibrations no longer risk being lost on simulation distance limit, and a whole lot of changes to frequencies have been made in this version. Unequipping items now has frequency of 4. Chiseled bookshelves being fed books by a hopper now count as a block change of frequency 11, as does turtle eggs cracking. A turtle egg hatching now counts as a block being destroyed on frequency 12. Using bone meal is now an item interaction frequency 3. Fire being put out by a splash water bottle is now frequency 12 for a block being destroyed. Evokers summoning Vexes or Fangs now count as a summon with frequency 14. A rabbit eating a carrot out of the ground now counts as a block change frequency 11, as does a sweet berry being eaten by a fox. and a camel eating a cactus from a player is now an eating event with frequency 8. There's a new option in this version that you can find in the accessibility settings screen. It is called Narrator Hotkey and it is on by default, which is how the game worked before this version as well. Switching this setting off means you can no longer toggle the narrator by pressing Ctrl and B. In user interface news, the player model in the inventory now renders centered and contained to the black box for the character. When editing text, holding Shift and navigating with the arrow keys now properly scrolls the text. You no longer need to hold down Ctrl, Shift or Alt while opening the F3 screen to see the various graphs. Instead, the charts are now toggled with F3 and 1 for the pie chart, F3 and 2 for the FPS and TPS graphs, and F3 and 3 for new network performance graphs. This shows two graphs, one for the amount of data transmitted over the network and one for the current ping to the server. These new keybinds also mean you can cycle between these graphs while the F3 screen is open, and that those graphs remain open the next time you open the F3 screen. In social interaction news, there are new options for player reports. In addition to chat reports, you can now select to report a player nickname or skin. This sends the nickname or skin to a team of moderators. If the moderators agree that a nickname violates the Minecraft community standards, the player will be forced to change the name before being able to play multiplayer, but can still play single player. If the moderators agree that a skin violates the Minecraft community standards, the player will be assigned one of the default skins and can still play both single player and multiplayer. They can then select a new custom skin at any time. Any skin or name that has been banned this way cannot be used by anyone in the future. If you want to know more about this new system, there's a frequently asked questions page that you can find a link to in the video description. There's one more change to the reporting. A new report reason has been added to the list. I want to report them, with the description, I'm annoyed with them, / they have done something I do not like. In sound news, sponges have a new sound for absorbing water, which now also has a subtitle. Sponge sucks. Also new sounds for breaking a dry sponge. Walking on dry sponge. Breaking a wet sponge. And walking on wet sponge. In performance news, the chunk loading of the game has been optimized, especially in multiplayer. This improves the loading into the world and in new dimensions, and prevents the bug where the player seems to be falling through the world. This also means that clients with low bandwidth will not experience disconnections and will no longer need to wait for as long to play while loading. There's now also a new experiment in the experiments screen called the Villager Trade Rebalance. All the changes we're going to talk about for the rest of this video only apply to worlds where you have selected to enable this Villager Trade Rebalance experiment. There is at this point no information about if or when these changes will be introduced to the game fully. With this experiment on, some of the trades change, starting in this version with Librarian, Cartographer, Armorer, and Wandering Trader changes. The changes to Librarians means that librarians from different biome types sell different enchanted books. There's a set of available enchantments for each villager type, and they also have one special enchantment that is only available from master level librarians. The regular books all show up with a random level like trades currently do, but the master level enchantments are lower level than maximum and always show up at that same level, so you'll need to combine enchantments to get things like maximum level protection. This new setup also means that enchantments for fishing rods, tridents, and crossbows can no longer be obtained through trading with the villagers. The enchantments sold by desert librarians are Fire Protection, Thorns, and Infinity, with Efficiency 3 as the special book. Savannah librarians sell Knockback, Curse of Binding, and Sweeping Edge, with Sharpness 3 as the special book. Plains librarians sell Punch, Smite, and Bane of Arthropods, with Protection 3 as the special book. Taiga librarians have a Blast Protection, Fire Aspect, and Flame, with Fortune 2 as the special book. Snow librarians have Aqua Affinity, Looting, and Frostwalker, as well as Silk Touch as the special book. There are also the two village types that don't generate naturally, so you will need to breed villagers to create these types. Jungle Village librarians have Feather Falling, Projectile Protection, and Power, with Unbreaking 2 as the master level book. and Swamp librarians have Depth Strider, Respiration and Curse of Vanishing, as well as Mending as the special book. Cartographers now sell more different types of explorer maps to other biomes where villages can be found. This takes the shape of village maps to other similar types of villages, and explorer maps to temples and witch huts for the biomes that don't have villagers naturally spawning, but that do have a villager type. For instance, desert cartographers sell savanna and plains village maps, as well as jungle temple explorer maps. Check out all the different types on screen. This means that from finding one single village, it will be possible to find all 7 types of village biomes. Let's move on to the changes to armorer trades, which are fairly substantial. Most notably, you now need to pay diamonds in addition to emeralds to buy diamond armor. The amount of diamonds differs between the different types of villages, and so does the enchantment on the gear and which diamond pieces they sell. The level of the enchantment is also now predetermined. Desert armorers sell only chestplates and leggings with thorns. Plains armorers sell leggings and boots with protection 1. Savanna armorers sell helmets and chestplates with Curse of Binding, which costs slightly fewer diamonds. Snow armorers sell Frostwalker boots and Aqua Affinity helmets, and Taiga armorers sell chestplate and leggings with Blast Protection 1. Swamp and Jungle armorers do not sell diamond gear, instead they are now the only armorers who will sell chainmail gear. In other news, master level armorers from most biomes can now also buy iron blocks for 4 emeralds, with the exception of Taiga armorers who buy diamond blocks for 42 emeralds. Taiga armorers have also been given new trades on the expert level where they will exchange 1 diamond armor piece for another. So, for instance, a pair of diamond boots and 4 emeralds will give you diamond leggings. The changes to Wandering Traders means they now have lower prices and a higher limit of each trade in stock so you can buy more. The Wandering Trader will now also buy some items. Each of these have a limit on a single trade. A water bottle for 1 emerald, a water or milk bucket for 2 emeralds, a fermented spider eye for 3 emeralds, 4 baked potatoes for 1 emerald, or a hay bale for 1 emerald. Traders will now also sell 4 trades of 8 logs for 1 emerald, a potion of invisibility for 5 emeralds, and a randomly enchanted iron pickaxe for between 6 and 20 emeralds depending on the enchant. One more change that is not directly related to villagers. With the villager trade rebalance experiment on, some structures now have a higher chance of having certain enchanted books as a loot. These books still have a random level on that enchant, with mending being common in ancient cities, efficiency being common in mineshafts, quick charge in pillager outposts, and unbreaking in desert pyramids and jungle temples. And that's all for this time. If you're also interested in technical changes for things like commands, data packs, resource packs and more, keep an eye out for my technical changes video coming shortly. My name is Sly Slime, thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.